The other story I want to share is an interesting conversation I had about a lady who was working in an organisation that was run by a relative of hers, and she was promoted and she was promoted and she was promoted. So she was really successful within that specific role, and then went looking for a role elsewhere. And when she went looking for this role elsewhere, she was going in at that level that she had attained, but actually, from the outsider's perspective, she really wasn't competent at the role, and she'd been promoted because she was working with a relative of hers and she was getting favourable treatment. But from the new organisation's perspective, she had reached this level of success and she was very much would have been able to do that. So, it's kind of a challenge around that. So are there people who are just on the other side, just not really that good at their job? What do you believe is the case? Do you believe that everyone is good at something and it's just a case of finding that thing that you're really good at? Or do you believe that some people are just not really that good in general at work, and there are, on the other side, absolutely star performers who are exceptionally good? Now, in kind of putting this into a bit more context in the workplace, did a bit of research around this, and high performers are more likely to leave due to lack of recognition. And that's due to lack of financial recognition. So if you're not paying high performers enough money, it could be financial recognition. It could be a different type of recognition, saying thank you, being promoted, or especially if someone they perceive as not as good as them is promoted above them. And that has certainly happened to me in the past. So I spoke about imposter syndrome on News Talk. So News Talk is one of our national radio stations here in Ireland, and a lot of people messaged in to the radio station to say that the problem is not with imposter syndrome and people being imposters or being really good at their job, but having this sense of imposter syndrome, but actually the opposite, that people were bluffing their way into their jobs and the workplace was rife with bluffers. And a lot of people texted that in. So that kind of also called into question, what's going on here? And are there a lot of people out there, either A, who are just incompetent, or B, they're in the wrong role?